One. So the reason why I went live so early here, or not early, but it's in the evening here. But the reason why I went live is is for a very important reason here. So I'm sorry I didn't go live yesterday. Yesterday was a crazy day for New England, and I should have covered it. It was extremely crazy for southern New England and New Jersey and Pennsylvania. We had 80-mile-an-hour winds gusts in Litchfield and Danbury and Bridgeport here, which was just crazy. And then we saw a 3-inch hailstorm and hailstone in Hartford. So that was actually plumb wild here. You don't see that every day. Alright, you don't see a 3-inch hailstone in Connecticut that often. Alright, that actually has never happened before. That's baseball sized hail. That's almost softball. You don't see that every day. Alright, that is extremely rare. Alright. Now, today is kind of like the calm before the storm. If you live in, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, New York, and New Jersey. Because tomorrow we're going to see a potentially dangerous day for flooding, alright? We're going to talk about that later. But if you're just tuning in here, we're going to be talking a lot today about today and tomorrow events here for severe weather here. Sorry I don't have my siren sound or my stream starting soon, because this is immediate, oh, shoot, sorry guys, immediate broadcast here. Sorry for that, that was stupid of me. That has actually never happened before. Alright, so we can see the curve here, right? The curve, that actually shows a hook signature. And we do have very minor rotation. I will draw it for you. This is a tornado warning, by the way. You want to get inside your inside your shelter here. Get in the basement. This is bad, alright? So there's the rotation, and it lines up, alright? We might actually be starting to get a new area of rotation. Where is my thing? Okay, right here. Alright, sorry guys. Right here. So we might get a new rotation right over here. This might be the dying one. But you can actually see like a little curve, like a little hook echo here. So this might actually try to produce a tornado as it goes over Keystone, Pennsylvania, Marysville, Pennsylvania, and Lingelstown, Pennsylvania. So if you live in those areas, be alert for the storm. This tornado warning will be entering your area in around an hour to 2 hours. So I would recommend just get prepared here, because this is going to get really wild very quickly. Hello everyone, how's your day going? We're talking about the severe weather today and tomorrow in the Northeast, or not Midwest, but Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Um, but that's not the only storm we have right now. We have another storm here coming into State College, alright? And the reason why I'm really focused on State College right now, Pennsylvania, is because we're under a flash flood warning, right? For radar engage here. We've gotten 1 to 3 inches in an hour, and we have this whole boatload of rain coming in, and what that's just going to do is only add the situation worse and worse to injury. So what you need to do is prepare now before this next round of heavy rain comes. Alright, now if we go further south near Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, I'm sorry, but that's the weirdest town name ever. So we can see here, as I expected here, right near Hollidaysburg, we might be under a flash flood warning soon, just because of all the heavy rain that is coming down right now. It's been here for a long time. And another area of concern for not severe thunderstorms, but rather flash flooding, is for Kincora Heights. But this area is also under a tornado. Alright, but look what's behind it. You see all these training supercells? Not supercells, but thunderstorms behind it. These are going to go over the same areas and produce even more rain. Alright, near Gettysburg, we actually have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Right? Oh no, it's this one right here. This one right here. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's check that out. We're actually under a severe thunderstorm watch here. This is for 60-mile-an-hour winds. Alright, so if you live in what is this? Orzile? Carlisle, and Mechanicsburg, and New Kingston, you need to be prepared for this, because this is beefing up. Look at this over the past couple of scans here. It's continued to beef up here. I mean, it's getting really strong really quickly here. We need to be really careful of that. Alright. Sorry guys, I'm going really quick. This is really crazy here. We have some storms near Pennsylvania right now, or yes, in the far eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey right now. These are below severe limits, but that does not mean that we could not see a you know oh my gosh, a special weather statement for these storms, and these could become severe as they go more north into a more primed environment here near the cold front. So we actually have more storms to the north too. I completely forgot about these. Sorry for y'all who live up here. We actually have a flash flood warning up here in New York. Okay, I think that's new. I don't know. We actually have a flash flood warning up here for rain gauge indicate for 1 to 3 inches in 1 hour. So that's a little excessive here. And look at this, guys. This is what I'm talking about. We still have that heavy rain band here, okay? And that's the issue here. Look, this is just staying here. This is not moving anywhere. Yeah, this is new. Just came out in the past few scans. This is new. Okay, this is not old. This is new information here. This is crazy, all right? So if you live in these areas, you need to take flash flood protocol seriously. This is insane. All right, let's go back further south here near Scranton. We actually have a special weather statement here for 0.25 inch hail and 40-mile-an-hour winds. So this is going to be a strong storm as it goes into Knoxon and Stoll areas in Pennsylvania. Please take shelter. Another thing that's concerning is we saw this a couple years ago where we had like these embedded storms inside of the milk rain. These really can produce really strong rains amounts because the combination. So when you see this right here, this is I'm circling this area because this is the area where we could see 3 inches of rain easily in a couple hours. All right, we need to be prepared here. Even areas that aren't getting stormed, they're still getting heavy rain here with the dying thunderstorms. But they're still getting heavy rain here. Not maybe a flood advisory, not a flash flood warning. All right, that's a little too excessive for this. But we can see here this storm is weakening a bit. That is the good news. But the rain behind it is not weakening. And what that means is that, oh no. Um, so this is going to be really bad here. If you live in these areas, we're going to get flash flooding. We are going to get flash flooding here. Just based off what I'm seeing. Look at all this rain. This is terrible. Right here, this is where all the heavy rain is. Very heavy rain, alright? This is coming down 1 inch an hour. This is all moving, eastern Pennsylvania, then it's going to go into Connecticut. But we're going to talk about, not Connecticut, New York, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, Massachusetts. But we're going to talk about that later, in this live stream, maybe at the 30-minute mark. Right now, we have to focus on these severe thunderstorms. So, we can see here that we have another severe thunderstorm warning here. It expires in 1 minute. That's not the one I was looking for. Right here, this one, right here. This one is for 1 inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. So that's pretty crazy. This is in Maryland right now. If you live in Westminster and Carroll County tanks, you need to get inside and away from windows. Alright, so that's a general overview of the storms in Pennsylvania. Alright, let's look at the models and see what we can see forward in this area. You know what? I'm going to change it up a bit. So the first 30 minutes of the stream, which we have 20, you know what? The next 22 minutes of the stream, we're going to be talking about the Mid-Atlantic, and then next 30 minutes, maybe even longer, maybe this will be 45 minutes to an hour in this area, because this is a lot to talk about, and I have a lot to talk about over there. It might be hours that we might be live. But, oh shoot, we forgot, we have some severe thunderstorm warnings down here for Centreville, Maryland, and Churchill, Maryland, and Marydale. So if you live in those areas or around those areas, you need to be inside and away from windows. Alright, so now we need to look at let's look at the new HRRR. Should we look at the 18Z or 22Z? Yeah, let's look at the 21Z. Alright, because, each and every single one of these model runs matters, alright? It's not just the 12Z, 18Z, and 0Z. We need to focus on all of these, because these could be intense. Alright, so we're going to go forward here. We can see here that we have some isolated supercells here that could be spinning and rotating, like the one up in Pennsylvania. Then these move off, and they might congeal into a line of strong storms here. 50 to 60-mile-an-hour winds possible. And then this we're not going to talk about Connecticut yet, but then this um, sorry guys. So now, then after this will turn into a bow. So a bow is very strong. All right, it's a strong line of storms here, and it's, you know, sorry, I'm trying to get rid of this. I don't know what happened. All right, there we go. So we can see here after this point, this is going to turn into a bow echo if you live in New Jersey. Basically, a bow echo is a very strong line of storms here, and this is where we actually have a severe thunderstorm watch. So we need to take action, right? And I'm going to draw the I'm gonna draw like, whoa, I lost my thing here. That stinks. Let's look at models. All right, here we go. Sorry guys, I'm falling off right now. Here we go. Right here. All right, so right in here we have the bow. All right, the bow. Now this bow is going to be very important for, many communities here in New Jersey. All right, it's going to be moving in this general direction. All right. So you need to be prepared if you live in these areas. All right. New York City is going to get hit by this too, but we're not going to talk about, New England till later. Um, and then after these storms are going to move out and they're going to move into New England. We'll talk about that later. And then tomorrow, this is where we actually have a very big flooding potential here in this area where I just circled. Now, this area could get anywhere from 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches tomorrow in a very short amount of time. Like, look at this cell right here, right up here. Don't take these like where they are right now. They could be above Philly. It could be right near New Jersey. It could be southern New Jersey, right? So we need to keep that in mind. So if you don't see any rain here, don't think, oh, we're not going to get anything, blah, blah, blah. You might, all right? Because then, hi, Landa's Nico Next Spots. How are you doing? Hopefully your day's going good here. But after that, yes, this will move off into more of a very heavy rain environment. This is the area we're most concerned, but we're not going to talk about that later. But just be careful tomorrow, all right, in this area. But today you have the biggest flood risk in this area. You know what? In fact, let's take a look at some model guidance for this area today and tomorrow. So right now, let's take a look at the HRRR total precipitation. We can see, oh no, this is crazy. Humidity tomorrow in New England. Yeah, we're gonna talk about in New Jersey. Humidity tomorrow in New Jersey. Oh, I thought you said New England. I'm sorry. Humidity tomorrow in New Jersey. Um, sorry, I'm laughing because my cat was jumping. Um, so tomorrow the humidity is going behind New Jersey. Maybe 65 to 70-degree dew point tomorrow. Very humid tomorrow in New Jersey. All right. Just because of all the rain and stuff. But look at these pockets, guys, of very isolated amounts here. That's crazy, dude. I never seen a total this much on the HRRR in a long time. 5.5 inches. That's crazy. So if you live in northern Pennsylvania, or not, northern Maryland, you will get hit really hard today. I'm going to say 1 to 3, but there's a chance for 5 inches plus. Alright, and look at this. In eastern Pennsylvania here, and some in northern here, this area is going to get hit very hard. Alright, very hard. Alright, but again, this, don't take a, you see all these, like, little red spots here, right? These are where very heavy isolated precipitation is. These could be anywhere. This could move north right here. This also could move north right here. So, you really need to be focused on this. So this is probably the main priority you should have for the next day or two. This is very important, alright? Hello everyone. How's everyone's day going here? We're looking at the severe weather coverage here, so stay tuned, ask some questions, tell me where you live so I can cover your area. That would be great, alright? halfway through the stream, we are going to talk about New England because they have a much better storm threat tomorrow. Or not storm threat, flooding threat, rather. So let's get on the composite reflectivity here. Alright, so we can see here in northern Pennsylvania. Let me get my drawing tool out. I need to get rid of this. This is annoying. So tomorrow in northern Pennsylvania, we actually have a more elevated threat too. Particularly on the northeastern side. Alright, so if you live on the northeastern side of Pennsylvania, we are going to have more of an elevated flood threat tomorrow. And let's look at the new HRRR. We can see here from anywhere from today to all the way tomorrow. Just take a look at this. I'm going to put this in motion here. And you can see how this area is especially in the crosshairs of a flooding outbreak here. Just look how much rain you're going to get. So much rain over and over again, training over the same spots. That is not a good sign here. You do not want that to happen. Alright, that is very dangerous. More dangerous than a lot of other storms that could happen. Alright, let's look at another model. I want to show you the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario here, we can look at the HDRPS here. The HDRPS. Okay, I understand how to say it now. Where is it? Here it is. Alright. So, let's just say, this model is a little bit excessive with its total precipitation. Do not take this into consideration. This is just the worst case scenario for tomorrow. Yeah, you can already tell this is going bonkers. But, yes. Look at this. I mean, this is just crazy here. We have pockets. We have pockets here of like 6 inches plus. Like right here, for example, 7 inches in Glengarry. Don't take that like you are going to see that in that specific area. This could be anywhere different, like we talked about. All right, now put that in your head here. New Jersey, look at this, guys. This is, wow. There's no way. 8 inches? I don't know if you guys see that. Let me zoom it in. Is that better? Can you guys see better? Maybe that's why. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but that says 8.8 inches. Okay, that's... I don't know if I'm going crazy or I'm in a dream, but that is a nightmare. Okay, 9 inches. Wow. Okay, I'm not going to get too caught up in that, but I might need to take a screenshot of that later tonight. This right here, you don't see this too often, alright? That is only for catastrophic flooding events. That's the worst case scenario. Alright, this model is usually a worst case scenario. That's what it's used for. And we have another pocket near Philly just getting crushed by 8 inches. Like, that's nothing. But look at this. This whole area right in here. Alright, this whole area right in here is just going to be crushed. We're going to be talking about this later because this is also really wild. More widespread up there. And then let's take a look at the Rufus. One, it's another accurate. It's actually it's, comparing to the HRRR is going to be likely soon. Let's take a look at the total precip in the Rufus model. The Rufus it's a really good model, again, and it's still showing these incredibly high magnitude amounts. Let's take a look at the composite reflectivity. What does it show? So the Rufus is a little bit more splotchy. I don't have Pro on this, but look you can see here. Just take a look at the general view here of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland. Look at this. Now, this is something crazy. Look at all these storms here over the same areas time and time again. And then tomorrow, oh, you get more storms that develop. Man, this is crazy. Alright, I never saw anything like this in a long time over here. Alright, this is just crazy. And yeah, alright, we already looked at the HRRR, we didn't look at the NAM. We're gonna save the NAM later for New England, because I just want to show that. Anyways, let's take a look at the outlooks for today. That looks serious. Yes, it's very serious. If you live in Rhode Island, Connecticut, I'm pretty sure this will be extended to New Jersey too. Pennsylvania, Maryland, and New Jersey, you are under a flash flood watch for tomorrow. Alright? Some of it's today too in Pennsylvania. Like, look at this. We have a whole bunch of action right now. But let's take a look at the flash flooding risk for today. Look at this right here. This is sorry, I paused for a second. I was listening to something. My cat meowing on the side. Um, uh, so we have a moderate risk for flash flooding in this is by the way, guys, this is actually very high. All right, this doesn't happen too often here in New England. This usually happens like some other places in the U.S. This doesn't usually. I don't usually see this up here, honestly. And this moderate risk is in just north of Philly. All right, and it goes into New Jersey, New York here. So that is pretty serious here. Now tomorrow, this extends again. We have another moderate risk day tomorrow. So another day you guys might be bored again tomorrow and suffering through this. But this is really, really serious. All right, right in this area, we have a moderate risk of severe weather here for New Jersey and parts of Pennsylvania here. Very dangerous situation here. All right, All right, so here's today's risk. We have a slight risk in place here, mainly for winds. All right, we have we actually have a pretty good chance of seeing winds here in Washington D.C. and Philly. All right, we we don't have a small tornado risk. I thought we would. So it's just winds. All right, there would be an enhanced risk here, but I don't think that's going to happen. All right, let's go back to the radar since that's the most important thing right now. We still have that tornado warning here for Marysville, Pennsylvania here, and Cove, Pennsylvania here. Look at this. We still have velocities here. Wow, I'm speechless, guys. This is kind of a crazy day, honestly. All right, so we have rotation right in here and rotation right in here. So this is a favorable look for a tornado to happen here for Keystone, Pennsylvania, and Marysville, Pennsylvania. Stay tuned if you live in those areas. All right, you need to be in your safe spot. All right, this is very dangerous. Very dangerous. All right. Um. All right. So the next storm is just north of Baltimore. This is for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds here. If you live in Westminster, you're going to get hit by that storm. Get inside, away from windows. Now, this storm has really beefed up. This is not the storm that we talked about that beefed up in Pennsylvania. This is just another storm here. This storm is a weird storm because it looked like it was going to move north. Now it's moving south. So that's a little weird. Alright, but if you live in Olney, you need to be inside and away from windows. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a flash flooding threat here, too. In fact, we already do. Right in this area. Oh, well, that's 70-mile-an-hour winds. 1 to 5 inches have fallen. That's kind of a widespread number here. But here we go again. Look at we still have some storms here in Philly right now. Let's go back to that beef thunderstorm that we were talking about. Kind of curious to see. Oh, we have actually hold on. Before this is more important. We have a new tornado warning here for Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. If you live in Harrisburg, you need to be in your safe spot right now. This is a very dangerous situation here. All right, this is extremely dangerous. All right, we have a rotating supercell here going in probably directly into Harrisburg. All right, unfortunately, if you live in Harrisburg, you need to be in your safe spots here. All right, this is very dangerous and capable of producing a tornado. All right, let's go back on velocities here. Yep, there's the beef storm. It is still strengthening. That's just crazy. Alright, it's still strengthening. It looked like it was weakening for a couple scans ago. Now it's just beefing up again. Like it's Big Brother to the north. Yeah, this is just crazy, guys. I mean, the thing is, this will impact New England's forecast tomorrow. If these storms go a little bit more north, the axis of heavy rain tomorrow will go a little bit more north. Alright? For tomorrow early morning. Alright? And that seems to be verifying right now. Along this line right here. Alright? Do you guys want to go to New England's forecast tomorrow? Or should we still keep talking about Pennsylvania? I think we should move on now, but I think I'm gonna go to New England's forecast tomorrow. That's all right with you guys. I mean, this is more of a dangerous area for tomorrow, but yeah, we're gonna do it right now. All right, so first of all, let's talk about some storms that are happening in this area right now. Let's go to the Albany radar here. We actually do have a special weather statement for Catskill Park, New York, Ulster, which is a weird name for a town, Shokan, and Kingston, New York. You have a blimp here for 40-mile-an-hour winds. All right, that kind of looks like it's on a weakening trend. Thankfully, we do have a little storm here near Goshen, New York. Here, this is a small storm with lightning here, so it's probably photogenic. Um, so whoa, this storm really beefed up on the newest scan here. Look at this is a little weird. This is a little different. Um, I don't. That's kind of weird. I don't know. Anyways, we have a thunderstorm there. All right, so just get inside and away from windows. Not much to that. All right, so we have a flash flood watch for New York, Connecticut, and Rhode Island here. Why? Well, we have a pretty high chance here. Let's take a look here. All this boring stuff. I'll just put it in yours here. So it says widespread rainfall amounts of 1 to 3 inches are expected into Tuesday. However, narrow bands of torrential rainfall may result in localized amounts of 4 to 6 inches of rain inside 6 hours. It remains low confidence where and when these potential narrow bands heavy rains set up. However, if they occur, they will bring potential of urban or small stream flash flooding. That is crazy. All right, that is crazy. So we need to prepare for this. This is really serious here. All right. Let's take a look at the newest. Take a look at the 8 triple R here. Let's look at the 18Z because this goes out further. Um, we can see here that tonight we'll get, yes, some of these storms here. All right, we'll get, again, right here. You see this area right in here? This could shift north, all right, or south. But I think it's going to be shifting north because based on what I've seen on radar in Pennsylvania. And then in around, 3, 4 o'clock, we'll start to see some very powerful rain here. Again, this model is more offshore, but it still shows lots of heavy rain into Cape Cod and northern Connecticut here. It kind of skips southern Connecticut, southern Rhode Island, southern New York, but that is kind of unlikely to happen right now because just based off all the other models, they're not showing that. So, but it is a scenario that we cannot forget here. But there isn't. Look at these narrow bands here. We can see we have a band here, 4 to 6 inches right over Long Island. Connecticut kind of gets spared on this run here, but that might change here. And we have another pocket of 3 to 6 inches here in northern Rhode Island and Connecticut. Not Connecticut, Massachusetts. And then Nantucket will get 2 inches. So, yeah, Nantucket's pretty much locked in for getting 2 inches. But, this is actually really crazy, guys. Now, I want to show you another model here. Let's take a look at the Rufus 18Z. Now, this really shows the narrow bands. Don't take like a look at where these bands will set up. It just gives you an idea. All right, because when you see this, you're like, what the heck is this? It's a rainfall map. All right, it just tells you how much rain is impacting the area. So right now, look at southern Connecticut with this long streak band of rain here, and this does go into Rhode Island and Cape Cod. Nantucket, you get 2 inches again. But look at this. There's like a band here, all right? Now, I want to show you something catastrophic. There is a little area here on this model run, and this is not even the worst case scenario. 23 inches of rain, all right? If this were to verify, and if this were to move a little north, we would have big time problems here. I don't think this is going to happen, though. That's just like a very, very bad scenario. But it's still a chance. Okay, it's still a chance that could happen. But this is just gonna be crazy, guys. Let's take a look at the NAM model. So the NAM doesn't have You know, in fact, we can look up, we can go on, weather.com and see the, total precip. We can do that after. But here is, wow. I mean, here's tonight for the the NAMNES. And look, it's pretty good with the storms here. We have a storm right here, right? Oh, sorry, you guys can't see. Storm right here right now, and a storm right here, and a storm right here. So this might actually come to fruition. I mean, I don't know yet, but it's looking likely. And then these storms will move in. They will weaken, but they will still be there. This is around 2, 3 a.m. Hi there, Joyce Graham, FN9XB. Welcome back again. How's your day doing? So we can see here that heavy rain starts to move into Connecticut and Rhode Island and New York here around 2, 3 a.m. Then that first batch does move out. Alright, so that's the first wave. First wave. First wave. That will bring quarter inch to half an inch. But wherever those locally bands set up, we will have amounts up to 1 to 2, maybe even 3. Day's going well, thank you. You're welcome. Um, let's see. And then look at this. This is new information here. It really wants to bring very heavy rain into Danbury. Alright? That was not here by like 10 a.m. Alright? So if you wake up tomorrow in Danbury, alright, at 10 a.m., and you see heavy rain at your house, then it's supposed to gonna be like that the whole day. So yeah, just if you see that, it'll be crazy. And guys, take a look at this. This is extreme. Alright? This shows incredibly heavy rainfall rates. Southern New York, southern Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, and all of southeastern Massachusetts. In fact, let me hyper focus on southern. This is crazy, guys. I'm kind of scared to see what these precipitation rates are. So we're gonna go on weather.com right now, and where's weather.com? All right, here's weather.com. That box. Let's go on weather data here. Satellite and radar here. Not satellite and radar. Oh my god. I've been going on that a lot lately. That's why I'm so into it. Let's look at the NAM at NAM NST here. So we can see here, this is more of a better look here for all of Pennsylvania, New York, and blah blah blah. Look at this. You can see, look at this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put this in play here, and you guys can look for yourselves. Look. All right. So let's focus on Pennsylvania real quick. So this is today and tomorrow. All right. So we can see some more heavy rain up in especially the northeast part of the state. I think we can see some rain here. No, 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 no. You're not doing that, buddy. So that's that area. Then Maryland here. It's mainly tonight. It's not tomorrow. Alright, it's not tomorrow. Alright, what the heck is happening? Sorry for that. So it's mainly tomorrow. Alright. I meant today. Alright. But then let's look at New England here. Just take a look at this. Just take a look at this radar loop. Rain is non-stop. This whole run, there's no non-stop rain. That is crazy. Full 60 hours of rain. I don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah. Oh my god. Now that is wild. That is very wild. You do not see that every day. Okay? This shows this isolated pocket up in not Connecticut, southern New York of 13 inches. Alright, so you see, that's like the Rufus. Alright, but it shows the band north. Okay, so again, it's kind of very uncertain where this band is going to set up. But all in all of areas will get at least an inch plus out of this whole thing. No matter what happens. Massachusetts border south. Alright. I will be live tomorrow. I will be live tomorrow. No worries. I will be live tomorrow, maybe, late morning, early afternoon here. But there's like this sharp line here. This is a really heavy rain threat here. The weather is crazy. We go from extreme to another. Can we get a nice, comfortable day? I wouldn't say till Wednesday. Honestly, just the way things are looking right now. Wednesday will be a nice day. It's probably the nicest of the week, honestly. But anyways, that is that model. Now I think it's time to look at the worst case scenario, and which is the HDRPS. Um, that a Sorry, guys. That model is very, 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 very extreme sometimes. Sometimes it's inaccurate, sometimes it's accurate. Here's the composite reflectivity. It's a bit broken, they just added it. So this does not look accurate at all. It looks way too overdone, alright? But that is the worst case scenario, again. Look at this. Just take a look at this heavy rain. Oh, I'm out of words here, guys. That's just... Whoa! Wow! Alright, that's really widespread. That is new. That was not there on the last run, and I can prove it to you. Right? I'm gonna prove it to you guys right now if you don't believe me. Here is this run. Now, look at last runs. Yeah. Just take a look at different. I was looking at that for Pennsylvania. Yeah, you can see the difference here. That is extreme. Wow. And it shows 5 inches in Norwich. A lot. But the most freaking area for lots of rain here is in Pleasant Valley, Burbank, and Denver Plains, where almost a foot of rain is possible. Wow. I don't know if that will be the case. And even New York City here, around 8 to 10 inches. That's a lot, too. I mean, that is just insane. I don't know if that will happen, but if that does, we need to prepare right now. Alright, I think everyone should start preparing right now. Let's take a look at the high-res version 3. This is new. This came out this morning here, but it doesn't have any... Wow. It shows the same thing, alright? I don't know what to say, what else to say here. Other than this is just gonna keep getting worse and worse here. Wow, what is this pocket? What is this? Nuh-uh. You guys see that in Long Island? 20.78 inches on Long Island, East Northport. What in the world? I have no idea what that is, but if that actually happens, wow, I'm speechless. All right, tomorrow's gonna be a bad day. I can already sense it. You know what? We're gonna hyper focus here. If you live in anywhere, Connecticut, Rhode Island, southeastern Massachusetts, and especially Long Island, this is probably where the heaviest rain is gonna be. We need to get prepared right now for tomorrow. If it doesn't, even if nothing happens and we just get maybe a measly 1 to 3 inches, we still need to prepare because this is a scenario where it could be possible. Get your flooding plans ready. All right? Again, I'm looking at the newest data here, and everything that I'm showing is terrible. Very extreme here. Very extreme here. Unfortunately. Wow. Alright, so the new RAP model, this is a little bit weird here, but this is new, alright? Again, new data comes in, alright? It shows southeastern Massachusetts getting spared here, alright? And that's good news, alright? But it still shows around an inch, alright? Maybe this is a little underdone here. I don't think that will happen here. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why this keeps zooming out. But we can see here, but, like, look at, central Connecticut eastward. It's crazy. What a weekend. I know. I go on my YouTube channel. I post a new video about the radar loop. It's an actual radar loop of what happened last night. If you didn't look at the radar, it's pretty wild. Honestly, it's crazy. Very crazy here. All right, the reflectivity. So let's take a look at the reflectivity of the new RAP. Again, this is just crazy. Wow. I mean, it's just like all the other models. The one model that is just the weakest out of every single model is the HRRR, but that is the most accurate, alright? It showed good 4 to 6 for some areas. That might be the one to win. But another very, very accurate model is the Euro model. The Euro model, this is the AI model, which is also has been doing a great job recently. And it wants to show bullseye over Long Island, Connecticut, New York, especially Connecticut, honestly. So yeah, that's crazy. Now we look at the ECMWF AIFS. Now this is showing something wild too. It is also showing, whoa, this is the Euro model. This doesn't usually happen. It shows, all right, let's start from west to east, or east to west. 5 inches in Barnstable, okay? 6 inches in Bourne, 6 inches in New Bedford, 6.2 inches in New Bedford, 6.3 inches in Bedford, or no, Bristol, 6.03 inches in Narragansett, 5.5 for Groton, 6 inches for Groton, 5 inches for Old Saybrook, 4 inches for Hamden. I mean, this is, look at how big this band is, too. It might be more narrow than this, but if that's what it's showing, and this is one of the most accurate models, then that's actually crazy. Again, it's ramping, like, to the mid runs, we're kind of toning it down a bit. But now, as it seems, as the 18Z, we're getting more fresh data here, and it's just, just putting down all the heavy rain here. And I actually made a document earlier today, and these are not new numbers, these are old numbers from the 12Z, not 18Z. And I made a document here. I added all these up here. And we got a 3-inch average for, all of, like, all the areas we're talking about right now. So I put 3 to 5 inches likely. That's most likely what's going to happen. So I mean, that's just crazy here. Good call by the National Weather Service for putting us under a flash flood watch, because we need that. RDPS. What does this show? I haven't looked at it yet. Alright, so this is a little bit different here. So it does show, I mean, again, this is crazy, guys. You see how thick this band is here? If that is the case, anywhere from Long Island north, we'll probably get some sort of heavy rain. Alright, so it's showing 6 inches bullseye in Connecticut here. And again, around the Connecticut coast, Rhode Island coast, again, it's another bust. Alright, it's another 2-inch bust. I mean, 2 inches is still a lot. I mean, like, you can't. But if that's what it shows, that's just crazy here. The new HRRR, I haven't looked at it yet, but the last run here looks very bad. But let's take a look here at the newest run. Yeah, oh no, it's turning towards the NAM. We're starting to see some more indices here that we're going to get heavy rains forming here. Wow, I can't believe this, what I'm seeing right now. This is... I feel like a lot of people are underdoing this situation, honestly. I mean, just based off what I'm seeing here. This is insane. Okay, you don't see this that often. Like, oh my goodness. This is actually crazy. Wow. I mean, we can look at the sub-hourly here. I mean, it still shows very heavy rain moving in. And look at this, guys. You can already see the next boundary starting to move north here. Stationary boundary. Look at the rain moving north. Alright, that's terrible. That's bad. That's bad. You don't want that. It's unfortunately, guys, it's looking more and more likely that we're going to see a flash flooding event. I just have to put that out there. I'd say it's a good 60 to 70% chance that we get at least 6 to 10 inches somewhere. If we don't, then that's okay. That's more than okay. That's great. I don't know why I said okay. I'm silly. But the fact that that showed up, wow, this is the newest run of the Rufus. No way, it's all the models now. Look, if this band forms here, it will go across all of this area. Alright, and that's what the Rufus is showing. Wow, guys. Alright, so let's go back into Pennsylvania, because I'm done looking at this. It's just way too crazy. Drunk. I feel like it's drunk. I don't know if it's drunk. It's not, though. So, Scotchtown, the storm has actually strengthened while we were looking at the models here. As we can see here. It shows it, yeah, it's showing it strengthening, and we actually have a flood advisory here that just got issued, like, literally as I looked at this here. This is for 1 to 3 inches that have fallen, alright? We're getting a lot of these flood warnings today, and I'm a feeling this is gonna be happening tomorrow, but worse. Alright? I mean, this is just crazy. And again, we have more this is crazy. More flash flood warnings in central Pennsylvania here. And we still have that tornado warning for Harrisburg, Pennsylvania here. Do we have any rotation? Very minor, but it's still coming directly into Harrisburg. Get in the basement right now. Or a central bathroom if you have any. Alright. Let's go further south here, towards that beef cell. Where's that beef cell? I'm curious. Where's that cell that didn't want to move? Or was confusing me. Okay, so apparently now it's moving east. It was going north, south, now east. What is up with this storm? Is it, like, drunk or something? Like, it's moving all over the place. Anyways, we do have another storm coming into I-70 here. Going north here into Westminster. Again, another storm going into Westminster. Again, that's crazy. Now, the storms just south of Harrisburg are severe warn 2. And now, that's also because just, like, the storms are kind of going into more of a line now. Tornado possible, 70-mile-an-hour severe thunderstorm warning. That is, wow, I can't believe that. But anyways here, we got more storm complexes here near State College again. These are moving generally northeast. All these storms are generally moving northeast here. So, actually, we did get a new severe thunderstorm warning in New Jersey here, by the way. This is for 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-inch hail, so, yeah. My voice is getting tired, guys. I might have to end the stream soon, unfortunately. I have a kind of a cold right now, as you can probably tell. I mean, it's just annoying. But anyways, tomorrow is going to be bad. Alright? In general, you need to be prepared for tomorrow. Okay? Um, the satellite is pretty cloudy. Pretty typical. But yeah. Alright, guys, I'm going to end the live stream there. Okay? I really hope you guys enjoyed this live here. It was fun. It was really fun. I loved it. Alright? A little extreme here on my side here. But everyone, I hope you have a good day and see you tomorrow. We'll be live.